couple weeks ago, Tiger Knight Empire War released a major update, Rome, which added new units, adjutants, maps and much more. Hi, my name is MrSmartDonkey and today we're going to be taking a look at everything new in the Rome update. As of my introduction and gameplay overview, I'm obliged to tell you that this is indeed a sponsored video. But the rules haven't changed. My opinion remains my own, as it was with that video. Now, before we move on to the exciting new units and other such features, I think it important to mention how the developers appear to have listened to us, the player base, over the past couple of months. One of the main concerns people have had was with the launcher. Whilst they're still working on the option to go full screen, it has already had a huge overhaul, making it look much more clean and user friendly. When before buttons were cluttered and it was difficult to maneuver through them all, especially for beginners, now that is no longer a concern. There are still a lot of buttons to press, as the amount of options hasn't been reduced, but it is far easier to navigate through them now because of the clean look. I shan't linger on the subject any longer, as it isn't the most exciting feature of the update, but I thought it was worth a mention nonetheless. Another feature that has received an overhaul is unit experience. Before, when you used a unit, any experience that unit would earn can only be used to unlock new gear for that same unit. If you wanted to use that experience to unlock equipment for other units, you would have to convert that experience to free experience, which cost gold, the in-game currency that can only be bought with real money. With the new update, experience has been made much more flexible. Each faction has had their units divided into 3 levels: basic, intermediate and advanced. Experience is shared within those levels. Say you play a couple of rounds with the Shoes Navy Staff Centurion unit, you're then able to spend the experience you earn with that unit on any unit within the same basic level of that faction, like the Crossbow Centurion or the Shoe Ranger 2nd Lieutenant. That's not to say free experience is removed completely. If you're done unlocking units and equipment at a certain level, you can then still convert any remaining experience to free experience and use it on any other level for any faction. This overhaul makes the leveling experience so much more pleasant, as you can more easily pick and choose what to level up with without having to play the prerequisite unit. On to the feature most of you will have clicked on the video for, the Roman units. As of the making of this video, there's only one out of the 3 Roman unit lines available, the Shielded Infantry line. The game is still in early access with updates being released weekly, thus we can only imagine Oasis Games are currently working hard on the other unit lines as we speak. Which brings us back to the Shielded Infantry. When one thinks of Rome, in particular their military, they think of well-organized formations, and the importance of swords and shields, most commonly the gladius and the scutum in those formations. Thus it only makes sense that the entire first unit line is dedicated solely to shielded infantry, starting with levies and astati all the way to legionaries and first cohort. Along with using a sword and shield, the Romans were also known for throwing javelins, or pilum, at the enemy before engaging in melee. This is well represented in the game too, with every single Roman unit that is playable right now having javelins in their arsenal. This adds a whole new layer of depth to the battles as well. Before there were just bows and crossbows used in long range skirmishes, now you'll also have to watch out for close range javelins being flung at your face too. Besides all kinds of new equipment, the Romans also bring new exclusive special skills with them, like the Testudo, which grants your soldiers a boost to defense, or the Hurl and Strike skill, which orders your soldiers to throw their javelins towards an area and then charge into it, along with many other special skills. Lastly, a word on the unit lines that aren't available and what they might be. I think it's safe to say the second unit line will be a melee cavalry line. Whilst the Romans were mostly known for their infantry, they had a formidable record of using cavalry too, with units such as Equites and Legionary and Praetorian Cavalry. That on top of the melee cavalry icon and the silhouettes of cavalry units gives us a pretty clear indication that melee cavalry are indeed coming. The third unit line is a bit more of a guess. The icon indicates melee infantry, and the silhouette looks like a man holding pilum and a shield, but I imagine they are a placeholder more than anything. Most logical in the way of unit variation will be ranged infantry, but the Romans weren't particularly known for their use of ranged infantry. They had velites and slingers, but seeing how every melee infantry unit already has some form of javelin, I'm not sure they would add ranged units dedicated to using the same weapon type. That would still leave slingers and archers to some extent, but I don't know how they could create a large enough variety of those to fill 8 different units. I could continue guessing and giving reasons as to which unit type I think will or will not make up the third unit line, but there's not really any point. We will just have to wait and see. On to a different topic, adjutants, of which there are 3 new Roman ones at different costs. The Roman adjutants are all quite unique from other adjutants already in the game, because none of them provide any formations for your men, but instead they have passive skills that buff your men in certain ways. The first Roman adjutant is the early Signifer, who provides your men with high morale and battle fever, which increases your men's melee damage. The next adjutant is the Centuria Signifer, who has access to tactic specialization, which makes your men recover stamina more quickly, and defense training, which increases your men's defense skill. The final Roman adjutant is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, general of the Phoenix legions,
loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance, in this life or the next.
I mean Macronus. His name is Macronus. Macronus has access to defense training and marching training, which increases your soldiers' movement speed. He also has the dispatch skill, which orders units to move to a designated location. Macronus is only available as DLC however, and is not available for purchase of in-game currency. The Rome update also brings us a couple of new maps for the different game modes. Conquest has seen the addition of Gallic Oppidum and Oasis as its new maps. The former located in Gaul, modern-day France, and the latter in Africa, in the Sahara Desert to be exact. The Epic War game mode has seen the addition of the Lujiang map, and the Siege game mode now has the Jiapi map available. Apologies for any mispronunciations. Along with the many new features and additions that come with the Rome update, there are many changes to already existing content too. Units have been balanced, received new abilities, or have seen existing abilities changed. 2 new special units are now available. Matchmaking has seen some changes to be more balanced and now follow the same level system as the new experience system, and much more. There is too much to cover in a single video, so I recommend you try out the game yourself to really get a good feel for it. Thus I've placed a link in the description to download the game yourself on Steam. That is going to do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching this overview of the Rome update for Tiger Knight Empire War, and I hope to see you on the battlefield soon. If you like these types of videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Also make sure to join my Discord channel if you just want to hang out and chat. I hope you've enjoyed, have a good day, and goodbye.